And we're live. Sunday Service, episode number 30. The big 3-0. We kick it off with a recap of UFC Vegas 100. Disgusting card. Oh my God. It was awful. It actually wasn't bad. It was a very, very low-level card, but it had some finishes on it, which I will give you a little nugget. I posted it on my IG story yesterday. But I had to take it down because I did a poor job of editing the email that was in that picture, and I didn't want the email to get leaked, so I had to take it down. But I may have a little reason as to why there was a lot more finishes on last night's card than in recent weeks. We also got UFC 309 to talk about. Jon Jones is back. Oh my God. Is this man really ducking Tom Aspinall like that? Or is he trolling? We'll talk about that. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Is he trolling or is he actually just ducking him that bad? Because it's blatantly obvious at this point. It's almost like it's a troll job. I'll give my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. We got James in the YouTube chat. What's up, brother Shama? James always joining, a regular. Appreciate you, brother. We got the IG live chat going on. Chug a beer. I actually just poured myself a nice little Sprite. Sprite Zero. I think it's Sprite Zero. Sprite Zero. I got a Zinachino top shelf. I'm locked in, boys. I had a little neuro gum before I jumped on here because I was dog tired, but I'm wired now. I'm wired and I'm ready to talk about some fights. 20 black Suburbans. We pull up like Sunday Service. Love it. Did Neil Magny take a dive? Well, the thing is, boys, should we talk about the gloves? I think we should talk about the gloves because it almost looked like Neil Magny took a dive, but I kind of believe it. I kind of believe it because there was a good amount of knockouts last night. I actually want to make sure. I want to know how many exactly. How many knockouts were there? Had to be at least 4 or 5. UFC stats. Dimitri, what's up, brother? Chef Pendy, what's going on? I think Jones knows Aspinall would work him. That's why he doesn't want to do the fight. So you think he's ducking him? That's one vote for ducking. I should put a poll up, actually. All right, how many knockouts were there last night? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a ground and pound. Actually, a couple of them were ground and pounds. 5 total. 5 knockouts last night. All right, if you're watching here, you know me. I've been talking about these new gloves for a good amount of time. I think probably the past 2 months. Because 2 months ago, I got enough data that I was like, these new gloves are kind of looking sus. Okay, because there's not many knockouts. And across the board, every single weight class, except for one, had an increase in decisions and a decrease in knockouts. So word got around about this data that I put together because I literally went in and figured out or kept track of all the fights that have happened, every single weight class. I got it all in a spreadsheet. Well, the UFC wanted to check out that data. So I shared it. I shared the data that I have on the new gloves compared to the old gloves. And the new data that I have on the new gloves compared to the old gloves is the old gloves that was at the beginning of 2024 and the historical data of the old gloves over the past 3 years. So they looked at that data this past week. And then all of a sudden, we have knockouts again? Is that a coincidence? Or did they do something to those gloves? Did they throw some extra weights in those gloves? Because to me, it looked like the same gloves. It looks like they did something to those gloves. Because all of a sudden, we have 5 knockouts on the card. I mean, Neil Magny's literally going out to a grazed punch to the head. I mean, what's going on here? Okay? Charles Radtke lands one left hook and Matthew Semmelsberger's on skates. Like, what's going on? I honestly think they might have done something to him because they looked at the data, and then the very next card, we have 5 knockouts. I don't know what's going on. This is not cap. The UFC looked at that data. It could be a coincidence, but the UFC looked at the data that I have, and then we have knockouts. I don't know what it is. I don't think it was a dive either. I don't think it was. Probably just got caught on the temple, or just the wrong side, or he's just old. I think Jones just wants to retire. That's true. Do you think they should bring back Phil Hawes, considering the new gloves? Not anymore. They fixed them. The car was so bad they needed to spice it up by changing the gloves. It's facts. It could just be low-level fights. Because to be honest, there's a lot of big favorites, so there's lopsided matchups. You know, maybe it's just that. Just lopsided matchups, bad matchmaking. One guy dominates, one guy finds a knockout. John's smart. There's a clear path to victory fighting Alex, and he's a big name. John can make it look easy. Tom presents a true threat. So the risk ain't worth the reward for him. So that would come down to that he's ducking Tom. Obviously, the smart, clear path would be to fight Alex, to take him down. And a guy that's not a true heavyweight. Chuck Buffalo KO lost you 5 hundo? That sucks, brother. Take the tinfoil hat off. It's always on, brother. It's always on. Why would I ever take it off? IG chat. Jones has achieved what he needed. He don't need more. All right, so this is what we're going to have to deal with all week. The Jones Meat Riders. Gotta love it. Last leg on a parlay. Ooh, it's tough. It's been proven by the math. It has. It has been proven by the math. I mean, the data, I have the data. Data backs it up. Numbers don't lie. Am I rooting for Stipe? It's a good question, Haunter. Because part of me does want Stipe to win. Just so that this plan that John has of like, this will be my retirement fight. I'm going to take Stipe at 42 years of age. Hasn't fought in over 3, maybe 4 years. Long layoff. Last fight, he got brutally knocked out. He's 42. John's plan is to beat the best heavyweight of all time, clearly out of his prime. Hasn't fought it forever. And then walk off into the sunset being like, I'm already the GOAT, and now I just beat the heavyweight GOAT, so I must be the heavyweight GOAT as well. Part of me wants that to go wrong because he should be fighting Tom Aspinall. But also part of me wants John to win so that the part in his head where he's like, people aren't impressed that I beat Stipe. I was supposed to beat Stipe. Maybe I just need to go out there and fight Tom because I want John to fight Tom. That's what it comes down to. I want Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall to fight. So I'm kind of on both sides, man. Like I kind of want it to go wrong for John and for Stipe to win. At the same time, I kind of want John to win so that there is a possibility to where Tom and John could fight. My guy, you know Bones is pound for pound number 1. You know this. All time, yeah, brother. All time, but not currently. Dana would skip the post-fight conference. Yeah, bro. I don't know if I'll be interested to see what he says after the victory or the loss. Most likely a victory, but you know, if Dana, I'm sure Dana wants Aspinall and Jones to fight because it's another great fight. He obviously doesn't want John to retire, but does he push for it right after? That's my wonder about it. Why they got Olives and Chandler as a favorite to end round 1? Because Charles Oliveira fights don't tend to go very long. Same with Michael Chandler fights. Yeah, that under 1.5 is kind of chalky. Can the pound for pound GOAT really be a steroid cheat, though? That is facts. That is facts. That's the bad thing about Jon, dude. Like, the thing that's going to piss me off the most this week, and we've already seen it with the UFC 309 promos, it's like, the GOAT is back. He's fighting the heavyweight GOAT, the best heavyweight of all time, Stipe. It's like, bro, Jon's been out for a year and a half. Stipe's been out for 4 years. Stipe's coming off a loss. Like, I get they have to sell the fight, obviously, but bro, this ain't what it should have been. When this fight was supposed to happen, which was a long time ago, actually, a long time ago. Technically, it was scheduled for last November. It was actually supposed to happen a long time before that. This would have actually been, what, December of 2022? That there was like rumors that it could happen. Jones versus Stipe. But Francis was still the champ at the time. And there was maybe Jones versus Francis. And then Francis left. And then Jones fought Cyril Gane for some reason. Stipe didn't fight at that point. I don't know why. But then Jon won. At least Jon came back and he won. So he's the heavyweight champ in March of 2023. And then he's going to fight Stipe in November of 2023. Then it was like, okay. It was like, okay, man. Like, you know, it makes sense. Because he's the champ in March. He fights, what is that? 8 months later. It's not the greatest turnaround, but it's a turnaround. And then Jon gets hurt. They make the interim belt. Tom Aspinall cold cocks Sergey Pavlovich in a minute. Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world. And then it's like, okay, maybe we could give up on this Jon versus Stipe thing, right? Because we have the interim champion right here. Now Tom Aspinall just cold cocked the scariest dude in the division, Sergey Pavlovich. But no, they aren't going to make the fight. They make Tom defend the interim belt while they just keep Stipe around. And a year later, here we are. So, yeah, that's just annoying. It's okay. Stipe don't want him to wrap the belt around him anyway. I don't know what that means. Pictogram? Picogram. It's so unfair how Dillashaw gets treated compared to Jones. For real. For real, though. For real. And to be honest, I love TJ. I love TJ. But I don't love Jones. And it might sound uncontrary, but TJ fought anybody. Jones is blatantly ducking one guy. So there's your reason. People hate on you and make fun of you and Maddie for failing your picks, but at least you guys give free picks, so respect to both of you. Appreciate that, brother. I've been on a cold streak the past 3 cards. Cold streak. And let me tell you, boys, if you ever try to tail the many men parlay, just don't. Just don't. Because I'm not a big money line bettor. I usually, if I'm going to play a money line, it's usually an underdog, unless I'm putting it in a parlay, or if I just think there's great value on a favorite. I'm not a big money line bettor. So the many men parlay has been around for over 2 years. Over 2 years. It's expected every Saturday. People ask me before I even put it out, where's the many men parlay? So it's expected to be put out every Saturday. I put it out every Saturday. And I got to pick 3 money lines. I may not even like these money lines, but I got to put out a many man parlay. So a lot of times it's just disgusting. And I'm like, I think this fighter probably should win. I wouldn't play their money line personally. Like, I wouldn't put it out to my premium members, but I got to put together a 3-leg parlay. Here it is. So don't tail that. Just don't. It's for entertainment. It's for entertainment. If you're going to be pissed about a loss, just don't tail it. Don't tail it. It's just for fun. It's for the vibes. It's tradition every Saturday. Many men parlay. And even other than that, any of the free plays that I give, Obviously, I want them to win, and I'm putting them out because I feel like they're going to win. But the last 3 weeks, I've been cold. And that's me. I'm always going to be transparent if I'm hot or I'm cold. But over the course of the year, I'm up. So you're going to go through the swings. But I appreciate that, brother. Everybody's going to fail picks. And it's worse. It's worse when you fail picks over the course of like 2 to 3 weeks because it just feels like nothing's going right. But it'll turn around. It'll turn around. Who do I got in the Zaitar Johnson fight? You talking about Abu Azaitar? I don't even know who he's fighting. What's next for the Moroccan Devil? Zalal. Who did I match up Zalal with? I think it was last week I said Edson Barbosa. Edson Barbosa, bro. That'd be sick. I think I'm going to take Stipe by TKO. Am I crazy? I mean, the odds will probably be insane, so you're not crazy. Because the odds show a pretty small probability, so you just got to throw a little dart out there. And if it hits, it hits. But, to take a guy that's never lost to lose is always never going to look good on paper. I'll just say that. What do you think is next for Prates? I think they're going to give Prates at least a top 7 guy. Because if you run through Neil Magny like that, they're going to jumpstart you up into at least the top 7 or 8. Like when Shavkat beat Magny, I think they gave him Jeff Neal next. So they'll give him a top 8 guy. Probably some type of striker, most likely. Like I doubt that they would give him like a Sean Brady. Colby Covington would never accept that. Who else? I mean, they're probably not going to give him like an Usman. I know he said Jack Della, but I don't know that they would give him Jack Della, to be honest. I think maybe the loser between Ian Gary and Joaquin Buckley. He's not going to fight Gilbert because him and Gilbert are friends. Maybe they do just give him Jack Della. Jack Della is ranked number 4 right now. I could see it. He's not going to fight Gilbert. Him and Gilbert are friends. I highly, highly doubt that they would fight. Highly doubt it. Please never stop the many men. I will never stop. The great part about the many men, and this is where, I've literally put it on my IG story. The first 2 legs of the many men hit yesterday. I put it on my IG story. I'm like, yo, it's looking pretty good to bet on Gaston Bolanos right now at plus 200. And what happened? He won. So you go 2 for 2, the 3rd leg ain't going to hit. So that's when you load up on the underdog. Or if the first leg loses, load up on the second 2, parlay them together. It's like TJ did all the criminal shit plus steroids with the way they do them. I know, right? It's like TJ obviously did the PEDs, but he didn't beat his wife. He didn't hit a pregnant lady with his car. Maybe I would think TJ's like a little bit more likable, Just my opinion. I think TJ's probably more likable than Jon Jones because he doesn't beat his wife, didn't hit a pregnant lady with his car, and he didn't have UFC events canceled because of him. Just my opinion. Take out the picograms. There's still a lot there to not like about Jones. Ottman Azaitar versus Michael Johnson in UFC Tampa, December 14th. I will be there. I did not know that was on the card, but I think Michael Johnson could probably take it, low-key. I think Michael Johnson could take it. Ottman's not the best, in my opinion. Not the best. Yeah, please. Please don't give Gilbert Prates. I don't think they would fight anyway. Usman and Gilbert happened. Dana loves hearing fighters are friends. That would be really disrespectful if they pinned Gilbert into a corner and they're like, you got to fight Prates. Because Usman and Gilbert happened because it was for the belt. You know, you got to fight your buddies. And I don't think Usman and Gilbert are like best buddies. And it's not like Prates and Gilbert are best buddies. But that was for the belt. You know, there's other guys you could give Prates at this point. Do I think all favorites win again? So favorites went, 10-1 last night? There's a good amount of sizable favorites on 309. I'd probably say the big favorites win, but not all the favorites. TJ owned the mistakes. Jon stays making excuses. Yeah, exactly. Charles versus Chandler prediction. I'm going to say Charles round 2 sub. Round 2 sub. I think Chandler comes out hot. He uses a lot of big movements. He's going to be swinging bombs. He's going to be looking to take Charles out. He might catch him with something. But on the ground, you're going to have to follow Charles to the ground to finish him. Not a lot of people do that. And I don't think Chandler's going to go down to the ground and submit him like Islam. I think the big movements will tire Chandler down. Charles might crack him with something, take the back, rear naked choke. Prates versus MVP or JDM. I think JDM would be a better fight. Is James Lontop still fighting Roofy? Yes, he is. Main card, pay-per-view. TJ ruined Cody and has no remorse. You did ruin him. Chandler said he's coming in and fighting safe. So if you watch my early picks video on UFC 309, I said there is a path to where Chandler could win this fight in a boring way. And that's to just do what Arman Tsarukyan did, was to take Charles down, play in his guard, and not get submitted. Because that's pretty much what Arman Tsarukyan did. Did a little bit on the feet, take him down, stay safe, don't get put in the worst spots. He got put in a bad spot with the guillotine, but he got out of it, stayed on top, and won majority of the minutes. Could Chandler do that? Possibly, but it'd be a really boring fight, kind of just like the Arman Charles fight was. Perfect breakdown. Hopefully it comes true. 12-6 elbows from Robertson. They were straight to the booty, straight to the bum hole. Can't imagine those felt good, but at least, there's some padding there. Will the prospect killer, Paul Craig, sub nickel? I want to see what the Paul Craig submission number is. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's getting a little bit of my coin just to have something on that fight. Okay, just to have something on the fight, I'm going to have to throw a dart at Paul Craig's up. But in all reality, I think Bo Nickel doesn't shoot takedowns. I think he just stands and strikes with Paul Craig, and he probably knocks him out. I think Chandler has learned to follow Oliveira to the ground if he's hurt. Maybe. But it's easier said than done. People are underestimating Chandler. He was one punch away from finishing Charles. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that clearly. And the thing is, he could knock out Charles. I don't think Charles is the most durable guy. So it's there. Does an Oban Elliott title run start UFC 309, or is he a mush this weekend? I think that one's going to be a close fight. I think it'll look more like a 50-50. Because Hafez isn't bad, dude. Hafez is decent. Chandler proved he can go without being subbed by Charles. I think Chandler points is live. Could be live. It's either Chandler KO1 or Chandler points. But I don't know. The weird thing is, Chandler survived Oliveira on his back, but then he got submitted by Dustin Poirier with a rear naked choke. The difference there, in my opinion, is it was round 1 compared to round 3. In round 3, Chandler has done all these big movements He's tired. He's not thinking the straightest. I don't want to say the straightest. That sounds sus. He's not thinking the most clear, and he lets a rear naked choke get up. So round one, yeah, I mean, Chandler has pretty solid submission defense, but as the fight goes on, opportunities will open up. Low blow 12-6 is crazy work. Bo by KO or Craig sub only? Only ways. Yeah, that's facts. Does Rainier de Ridder have double champ potential? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wasn't that impressed with Rainier de Ridder. Like, the guy obviously has a great ground game because at the end of the day, he out-grappled Gerald to finish the fight. But the dude's stand-up is not good. The dude's takedowns are not that good. And his cardio really didn't look that good either. Like, I think both guys were pretty gas, and it was nice to see de Ridder be able to fight through it and get the submission, but double champ, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't even think he'll ever be champ in any weight class. Oban has a tough matchup this weekend. I agree. Imagine Holloway versus Islam. That would go one way and one way only, brother. The Islam round 1 or 2 submission. Chandler was doing good in round 1, staying safe while pounding T. Ferg. I'll never forget T. Ferg dropped him. Am I crazy for thinking Weidman has very little chance of winning this week? I mean, if you haven't watched Eric Anders, I would say Chris Weidman has a chance to win this weekend. I would say. You had Ridder 1-2 sub. Yeah, I'm with. I don't think anyone could have seen de Ridder being the one taken over in round 3. Okay, that was a shock to me. De Ridder versus Abus Magomedov for the belt of the worst gas tank. Dude, you know what? I was actually thinking this while watching Rainier de Ridder. I'm like, this dude reminds me of like an Abus Magomedov. Like, he's got a lot of talent, but it doesn't always look the best. His gas tank always looks sus. He gets hit pretty clean sometimes. But when he has his moments, he looks really good. So, and he's like a newer guy. Good comparison, honestly. Very different styles, though. Ridder was damn near. I thought GM3 might TKO him in round 1. He was landing some shots. I'm like, oh my god, if GM3 keeps his fight on the feet, he might knock him out. And that is not a good look. Who has the most ring rust at UFC 309? It would obviously be Stipe. Longest layoff. I think Weidman gets it done. I actually kind of think so too. Fighter of the year, to me, Ilia Topuria. Wins over Volk, knockout over Volk, knockout over Holloway. 2 of the best in the world. To me, that's better than Pereira's 3 wins. That's what it comes down to. I wouldn't be surprised if Rainier de Ridder gets chinned in his next fight if he doesn't get a layup. I agree. Let's just say if he fights like a Michel Pereira, like Michel Pereira could knock him out in round 1. That's how bad it is. Jack Hermanson could probably beat him. Anthony Hernandez is putting him through the ringer. Shar Magomedov might even. No, I'm kidding. I think Rainier de Ridder might just take down Shar and sub him, to be honest, because Shar's ground game is just not that good. I would love to see Aspinall show up dressed as a duck. I don't think he would, but that would be funny. That would be funny. Actually, I gotta decide. I got a Tom Aspinall shirt and I got a Charles Oliveira shirt. Which one do I wear on Saturday? Or do I wear both? Because I know Tom's not fighting, but I want to wear it for the main event. I also got a Jon Jones shirt that I'm gonna burn. About that Jon Jones shirt, like, 3 years ago when I actually kind of liked the guy. I'm burning that shit. I'm burning it. I'm burning it. I'm burning the Jon Jones shirt, and I'm wearing my Tom Aspinall shirt for the main event. Talent as in the ground, brother. Striking is not good. Will Jon retire this weekend? Probably. Prates versus Shavkat. Actually, let's go back to this. Will Jon retire this weekend? I think everything that's going on, like Jon just can't avoid the allegations that he's ducking Tom Aspinall at this point. It comes up in almost every interview. His thoughts on Tom Aspinall. Is he going to retire? I think at this point, how hard he has made this on Tom, he's like trolling him. He's trolling him to where he might actually fight him. Like there's part of me that thinks Jon is just trolling him to be like, this guy hasn't done anything. His best win was Andrei Arlovsky, but Andrei Arlovsky was 42 and old at the time. Who has he beat? Like Aspinall's beaten Pavlovich. He's beaten Blades. He's beaten Volkov. He beat Tybura. Like he beat Spivak. Like those are 4 of the top 7 guys in the heavyweight division. So he's obviously beaten the who's who in the heavyweight division right now. And he's trying to fight Stipe. He's trying to fight Jon Jones. He's tried to fight Cyril Gane. They won't fight him. So, you know, like I really find it hard to think that Jon is that incapable to understand what's going on. So I think he's trolling. I think he's just trolling Aspinall to where people will get upset with Jon for ducking him. And then once he wins, if he wins, most likely he will win. If he wins, he's going to eventually fight him. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think he's trolling. If he's not, then that's a really bad look. Really bad look. Prates versus Shavkat. That'd be decent. It'd be decent. Prates' takedown defense looks solid though. The concern would be the takedowns, but his takedown defense looks solid. Stipe walks with a limp. Bro, what was this like? This was Saturday. It was either Friday or Saturday. I opened my phone. Stipe Miocic is doing ads for Buffalo Wild Wings a week away from the fight. He's sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings with a tray of wings and like an alcoholic beverage, it looked like. And I'm like, oh my God. Stipe, do we really need to be doing B-Dubs promos a week away from the fight? Like, I know you got to capitalize. You got to make your money. But to me, that just doesn't seem like you're really locked in for this fight, trying to do promos for beat-ups. Okay? Not a good look. If he's actually walking with a limp, that's not good. Hamzat versus Kyle, that'd be sick. Who do you think is going to headline UFC 310? Well, the way that I saw it, Usman was on the at the desk on Saturday last night, and they kept dropping hints that like Usman's going to possibly fight Shavkat, and Usman's like, "What? I don't know." Whoa. I think they'll probably make that, honestly. Boatan Fighter of the Year for saving pay-per-views. I could see, yeah, whatever. Fighter of the Year, Boatan, fought injured, short notice, man. Okay. GM3 is solidified GOAT, Gatekeeper, and Rainer de Ritter. Let's go back to this shit. If Ilia Topuria took a short notice fight with Brian Ortega and beat him, is that as impressive as him fighting Holloway on a full camp and knocking out Holloway? No. More impressive to me is both guys, Holloway and Topuria, had a full training camp. They go in there in their best form. 2 of the best in the world, and Ilia Topuria knocked him out. That's better than like a short notice win where both guys have a short camp and Ilia would just go out there and knock out Brian Ortega. Okay, it's not the same. Solidified GOAT gatekeeper and Rainer de Ritter is a bigger Dan Hooker. It does kind of look like same hair. The real question is, where does Kevin Lee fit into this? He fits into the regional scene right now. Fighting Nerds are on top. All Aspinall had to say is he defended his interim belt. Interim BS, a guy who beat him at what? I don't know what the hell you guys be saying sometimes. It's like you don't even read your comment before you send it. Would you make the fact that Rainer de Ritter called out Hamzat? I actually kind of like that. If you're going to call somebody out, at least go up in the ranks, call somebody big. Favorite champ right now? I'd probably have to say Peloton. I think he's the people's champ. He's the people's champ because he fights all the time, puts on exciting fights, knockouts, aura. He's the people's champ right now. Can't really get around that. I mean, I love Ilya Taporia too. I think he's doing a great job building up fights. He'll talk shit, but he backs it up and he's respectful after. Puts on shows, big knockouts, exciting fighter. I mean, they're neck and neck in my opinion. Poor Stipe. Brands love sponsoring Stipe. Peloton is always going to have more aura because he's like 6'4", doesn't speak English, and he knocks everybody out. I think the not speaking English builds more aura, in my opinion, because you don't know exactly what they're saying. You don't know what they're thinking. But if you speak English, like most UFC fans that I would talk to, at least me, it doesn't really come across as well. Like Ilya's, it's like his third language or whatever. And he'll shit talk. But I think the not speaking English part actually adds more aura. Like when you think about it, with Charles Oliveira's aura, Charles Oliveira would just go out there, either knock out or submit dudes on his run. That aura run was insane. And the dude didn't speak a lick of English. Like, you don't know what this guy's thinking. You don't know what this guy's saying. He's got to get a translator. So I think the aura helps when you don't speak English. JR. I'm just trying to give people props when they deserve it. It's what I come on here to do. I either come on here to give props or to give my opinion on something I don't like. It's what it is. Do you think Pereira could be GOAT or has a chance? I don't know. GOAT is subjective. Some people will say Khabib's the GOAT. Don't think so, but some people think so. When's Jan fighting? The week after. What did that mean? November 19th, I think it is. Taporia resume is better. I agree. Here we go, Alex. All Aspinall had to say was he defended his interim versus the guy who beat him. I don't know where you're going with that. I don't think that would check out. What will I do if Stipe wins? I will be shocked. Honestly, I have no idea. I would be very, very shocked. It'd be insane. Chandler by finish is plus 400. Well, he's like a plus 220 underdog, so that makes sense. Speaking English does make you less intimidating, bro. Unless you're like an absolute wild man, like there's not much going on up there, like a Tony Ferguson, then like if you're a reasonable person, it's tough to have aura when you're speaking English. But if you're just wild in the head like a Tony Ferguson, then yeah, you could have some aura. Like Yuri, Yuri speaks English. It's broken, but he's fucking weird in the head. So he has some aura. Obviously, Pereira took all that aura when he knocked him out twice, but there was still aura there. So yeah, I guess you could speak English, but you gotta be just fucked up in the head, like really weird to have some aura when you're speaking English. You got to give Jon Jones his props. I'm gonna keep bugging you about that. I mean, obviously, I'm not. He's the best to ever do it. He's never lost. That's all there is to say. That's all there is to say. He's the best to ever do it. There's no doubt. He's the GOAT. What do you want me to do? Sit here and suck him off? I think he's a terrible human being. I think he has clearly chosen the path of least resistance for this fight. But yeah, he's the GOAT. You want me to say that? There you go. Rip the shirts in halves and stitch them together now. Rip the shirts in half. Have a half shirt Aspinall, half Oliveira shirt. That'd be funny. Man, I wish Aspinall was fighting. Mike Tyson speaks English and he is perfectly normal. I don't think Tyson is perfectly normal. Tyson is not perfectly normal. There's some screws loose, brother. There's a lot of screws loose with Mike Tyson. Okay. If you ever listen to the man talk, there's a lot of screws loose. You think Jones gets a KO? Dude, I don't like Jon isn't a big knockout guy. He has like one knockout in the past 11 years. And it was to Gustafsson. He couldn't knock out a Thiago Santos. He couldn't knock out an Anthony Smith. So that's where this fight is weird to me. It's like Jon is a great fighter overall, but he doesn't have like big knockout power. He doesn't have like crazy jiu-jitsu. He's just good overall. He's just good at winning fights. So I don't know. Yeah, does he get a KO? I don't think he's gonna like spark Stipe like Ngannou did. Obviously not. I don't know. I don't know how he wins, honestly. I mean, it could be either KO, sub, or decision. That's probably what makes him the best of all times because he can win in any way. But he doesn't have like FU power. Doesn't have amazing jiu-jitsu where if you get on the ground, like you're fucked. You know, he just wins fights. Just good at winning fights. He just knows how to win. Outside of Islam, who do you think has the better chance to beat Topuria? At 145, probably Diego Lopez. Probably. Ankalaev ends the fun soon. LOL. If Ankalaev stands with Pereira, he's getting fucking flatlined, bro. You think Fluffy has top 5 potential? Probably. I think he could get there. 1 or 2 more fights, the right matchmaking, he could get there. Tyson is far from normal, but he's shroomed out every day. Yeah. Serrano, Taylor, 2. What do you think? That's on Friday, I think it is, right? It's on the Tyson card. I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion, but for a women's boxing fight, it's actually pretty good. Amanda Serrano's is really good. I'll probably go with Serrano, but I think I took Serrano the first fight and she lost. Y'all see the video? Oh my God, dude. I saw that video of Nick Diaz on the street burning some grass, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that's actually Nick Diaz, bro. If that's actually Nick Diaz, they got to get that man some help. The dude's fighting in like a month. Less than a month. What is he doing? I'm genuinely, I don't think that was Nick. I don't think that was Nick. And the fact that people would put it out there as if it was Nick, and if we find out it wasn't Nick, that's pretty fucked up. Personally, I don't think that was Nick. It didn't really sound like him. It kind of looked like him, but it also looked a lot skinnier. If that's Nick, that is really fucked up. But if that's not Nick, then whoever posted that is fucked up. Jones by 12-6 elbow. Honestly, too. they had to bring the 12-6 elbow in the month that Jon Jones is fighting. That's actually hilarious. I didn't put that together. Why do you think DDP is calling for Chimaev? Everyone thinks Sean's the easier fight? Question mark. Because it's more money. More money. I know DDP's manager, and I know DDP wants the tough fights. He wants the tough fights. He wants the fights that are going to sell. Chimaev is a massive draw. Why not push for Chimaev? I mean, if he wants to defend his title, he's going to have to fight him eventually. So why not do it now? Why not make it big? I think he's only TKO'd Vera, Chael, and Gus. Yeah, dude, it's like not that many. I don't know. John's, it's actually crazy, like how little or how few knockouts Jon has. That just tells you like he's a amazing overall mixed martial artist because he's won that many fights without having like just devastating knockout power. He doesn't rely on like big knockout power. It's pretty nuts. What do we think about McGee versus Martinez? Sleeper fight in the card for me. It is a sleeper fight. I'm tending to lean McGee. I think Martinez left his camp. Factory X. I don't know who he's getting coached by, but it's probably nobody good. Might be himself through the grapevine. Apparently, Martinez is his own coach. Not a good look. Tend to lean McGee. I think if Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns fought, Roman would win. All right, cool. Prediction for the Tyson fight. My prediction is Jake Paul, late round knockout. Mid to late round knockout. I think Jake wins. Didn't even sound like Nick, yeah. Don't think Nate would let him out on the street like that, but who knows? It is who knows. At the end of the day, it's who knows. It definitely looks like him, but I don't know. He looks skinny to me. Looked really skinny. When your parlay's going to hit, bro, if you're talking about the many men parlays, I already went over this, brother. I'm telling you, just don't tail him. Wouldn't it make more sense to fight Sean than Chimaev, though? He would get 2 paydays. I feel like he thinks Chimaev's easy money. No, I don't think so. I mean, rematch just don't really do much. Like, I guess it could be another payday, but it's a fast game, man. Like, you know, maybe if he takes a fight with Strickland, and even if he beats Strickland, maybe Chimaev fights again in the meantime and he loses, and then he loses the Chimaev fight. So if it's there, why not just get it done? Who would win, Kyle and Royval? Who? Over under half Jon Jones eye pokes. That's a hammer on the over. Hammer. Pretty sure Diaz is only hyping himself to fight because he needs the money, regardless that if that was or wasn't him, seems like the type of guy to be too proud to accept money from his little bro. I kind of agree. Who do you think would win between Prates and Oliveira? I mean, different weight classes, brother. It's tough to say in different weight classes. Prates is like 3 inches taller, probably like a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage. I don't know, man. Like, I'd probably say Prates, honestly, just being the bigger guy. Do you use an Excel sheet for your betting and assign a point system to relevant variables, or is it less structured than that? Assign a point system to relevant variables. I mean, I use an Excel sheet, but I don't know what you mean by point system. I have to explain the point system that you're talking about. Is Reyes versus Smith happening? It's showing me on fight odds. I thought that was happening sometime. I think it is, yeah. Jon Jones versus Taporia would feed generations. Hot take. Prates isn't that good. When he goes up against someone with very good wrestling or good boxing like JDM, he will lose. And maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's really good. He's really, really good. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, he hasn't faced anybody with like elite wrestling or amazing boxing. That's true. But I mean, the guys that they put in front of him, he's just absolutely murked. So, Jon Jones versus Taporia. These guys don't watch MMA. I think that was just a troll, brother. What does Aspinall do since Jon doesn't fight him and Tom beats everybody? I mean, Aspinall probably just got to wait out and see what's going on. If Jones or Stipe, if they're going to retire, then I guess he's just got to wait it out and he'll be the heavyweight champ. I don't know. It's very weird. So in 23 fights, Jones has only 5 KOs. The extra 2 being Shogun and Matsushenko. 5 KOs, 23 fights. How does this man do it? I'm going to 309. I'm excited. At MSG. Good luck. Have fun, brother. I wish they could have gave you a better pay-per-view card than that. Because the MSG card last year, I went to the MSG card last year, and that was a good card. Overall, there's like a ton of finishes, pretty solid fights. That was a good card. I feel like this one's a little bit weak. Is your guy Matty Betts just rich as fuck? How can he throw thousands on crazy long shot parlays? A lot of time in the game, brother. A lot of time in the game. And a lot of wins. You got to think. The guy's throwing 1,000 or 2,000 on a long shot. And he loses 20 of those. Then he's down 20,000. And then he hits the 21st one and he hits for $70,000. He's still up money. You hit $1,000 parlay, like you hit the $1,000 parlay 3 weeks ago. Even if he threw all his long shots that he's lost the past two weeks, he's probably down 20,000. So he's still up 80,000 over the past however many weeks because he hit the 100K. A lot of time in the game, brother. Prates has had some good takedown defense, though, and I don't know what those Brazilians got in their fists. Yeah, it's facts. Could be just weights in their fists, bro. No, wait. Jones versus Marlon Vera. Matt Hamill making an appearance at 309. That'd be funny. Yeah, dude, Rampage versus Charles Oliveira was a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. You're going to McGregor versus Aldo. Good luck, brother. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. It's going to be amazing. Dude, look at the how the fuck does Trocoli have a black belt? He gets standing guillotine choked by Tresean Gore. What the fuck was that? Mackenzie Dern got to break up with that dude immediately. Dude went out there, got caught in the guillotine, just didn't do anything about it. He's got a black belt, 6'5", gets choked out in a minute 23 by a guy with 6 MMA fights. The fuck was that? This card was ass, dude. This card sucked. How the fuck was Zach Scroggin doing in the UFC, bro? The dude shelled up 20 seconds into the fight. Dusko Todorovic just grabbing legs, getting his face blown off. The fuck was going on? Neil Magny. Neil Magny had nothing on the feet. Neil Magny literally shelled up the first shot that landed from Carlos Prates. He couldn't get a takedown. He's like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm just running and I'm covering up. Dude looked at the clock with like 30 seconds left. He's like, all right, there's 20, 30 seconds left in the first round. I just got to survive. I'll get to round 2. Couldn't even fucking do that. Couldn't even do that. Literally shelling up against the cage. Trying to get off. Bang. Knocked out. The black guy was a unit. Yeah, Abdul Malik is a motherfucking unit. 309 is stacked, bro. We got Bo Nickel and James Lontop on the main card. I hope you're kidding. James Lontop should never be on the main card. Imagine Jones beats Stipe and calls out Hamill for the crowd. That would be amazing. My question is, if Jones beats Stipe, does he even mention Tom Aspinall post-fight? Dragoli wouldn't even be able to defend Dern in public. Bro, if I see that man and he shoots a takedown on me, I'm pulling that guillotine immediately. Throw the hips into it. High elbow. Dude's tapping out. I've been keeping up with this McGregor lawsuit that's been going on, and I've been reading everything. I've came to the conclusion that I'll be surprised if Conor is found guilty on anything. With the money that man has, I would be very surprised if he's found guilty of anything as well. Who does DeRitter fight next? Who the fuck cares, man? That guy didn't look like shit. Who's that man fight next? Give him fucking Jack Hermanson and let him take his L. We can keep moving. I sound harsh on the guy. I actually don't mind him, but maybe Brad Tavares. It's not bad. Could give him Brad. I wouldn't be opposed to that. It's a good one there. They love Sway. I agree. It's a solid matchup. Wait, this may be a hard fight to predict, but Vizina versus Brandon Royval. Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who has the best chance of becoming double champ? It's a good question because I literally put it out on Wednesday myself. I would probably say Islam. I'd probably say Islam. But maybe DDP and maybe Pereira. Most likely, probably Islam. Maybe DDP, maybe Pereira. Oh, Jones about to beat Stipe and call out Fedor. I'd read that as Felder. Fedor. Imagine Jon Jones calls out Fedor. Fedor Emelianenko. Get your ass in here. I just beat the best heavyweight of all time. You're next. It wouldn't be like that. That sounded like a Michael Chandler call out. It'd be a lot more monotone. Lost out 2K because Julian Robertson couldn't finish a girl that got subbed by Angela Hill. She had full mount. The whole third round banned women's MMA. Bro, all of a sudden, Luana Pinheiro had cardio. Like, she's never had good cardio ever in her career. And then all of a sudden, she looked fresh in round 3. I don't know what kind of EPO she was pushing into her body, but that shit looks sus. Do you shit on fighter in their DMs? Sometimes it's a must. Rarely, though. I've never shit on a fighter in their DMs, bro. That's weak as fuck. Weak as fuck. He's going to call up Brock Lesnar. Oh, that's funny as fuck. Jones versus Bonner is the fight. Oh, fuck, dude. You can't say that. Did you see the video of Mario Batista and Henry Cejudo arguing? I did see that. That was good. I actually liked that video. That was a good video. We need more of that. So props to Mario for going up to Cejudo and doing that. Because I feel like we need more of that shit. Of like fighters seeing each other out and about or at an event and just be like, yo, I want to fight you. And then they kind of go back and forth. I like that. I thought that was good. I thought Cejudo looked short as fuck, for one. Cejudo was also talking in all caps. Like the dude was shouting while Batista's like right there next to him. I'm like, dude, you could not have more of a little man syndrome right now. Like you're 5 inches shorter than Batista and you're shouting in his face. Like what? It was wild. But I think it's so lame when, guys that have been champion before, they'd be like, what have you done? What have you done? I'm a Olympic champion. I'm a 2 division UFC champion. What have you done? It's like, yo, he's on his come up. Like he's obviously hasn't been to where you've been before, but what do you want him to do? Like he's on his come up. He's on his rise. So stupid. He could beat Pereira, bro. He could beat by full on retardation. Dana shared that AI vid of him. What the fuck? What the fuck? Malott versus Mario Batista, Brock Lesnar. Holloway versus O'Malley for BMF at 145. Bro, O'Malley ain't going to be fighting for a BMF title, bro. What the fuck is this? What are we on? O'Malley ain't going to fight for a BMF title? Up a weight class? What the fuck are you thinking? Especially with the narrative to be built on the post-fight Mike. If Jones beats Stipe via 12-6 elbows, oh my God. Fucking 12-6. 9 times out of 10, Jones calling out Fuck, bro. Prates versus MVP or Neal would be sick. I wouldn't mind Prates versus Jeff Neal, but I feel like Neal would get beat up. He'd get beat up with knees and kicks. Did you watch that prankster getting beat up by Shavkat? No. I don't think that's the thing. He probably still beats Bo Nickel, though. That's the fight to make, bro. Rainer DeRitter, Bo Nickel. Olympic champion is the UFC champion. Shit. What the fuck this guy's on? Chaos is on something crazy, bro. BMF belt is 155 and up. Is that a thing? Yeah, it was Rosas. I think he's just fucking around. You had a 7-leg parlay. Congrats, brother. Prates chain smokes. He's cooked if he fights a solid wrestler. Nah, bro. Cigarette cardio is the best cardio to have. The best cardio to have out there. Congrats, Justin Rogers. 7-leg parlay. Hopefully it cashed out big. Oh, I hope DC interviews Jon Jones this week. I think he interviewed him when he fought Gon. I think he did. He probably does. Rosas versus Debora. All right, chaos is getting crazy. We're gonna hop out of here, boys. Appreciate y'all for joining. It's gonna be a week. Pay-per-view card. Pay-per-view. The actual card is actually pretty shit. So, there's that. But it's a card. It's a card, boys. Appreciate y'all for joining. We'll be back here next Sunday, recapping the event. Hopefully we make some money. We got to get out of this cold streak, but I'm out of here, boys. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good week.